I am so inspired by this Tyler Perry doc. Have you seen that?
I haven't.
Oh,
I haven't. Not yet, at least.
this is a must. This is an absolute must, and I'm going to try my best for those because I know it recently just came out. So some people are like, Nikki, I didn't even see it. I'm going to try my best not to give too much, but by the time this comes out, like, y'all should have seen it. I'm just saying. So I believe every creative entrepreneur, aspiring entrepreneur needs to watch this, right? His story alone is amazing, but there are just certain lessons that really stuck out to me. More, of course, on an inspirational tip, but like when we're talking about his plays and how he transitioned to movies and Lionsgate getting to him, right? They didn't know who he was. So mind you, Tyler Perry was like selling out amongst the Black community over and over and over again, right? The success was crazy. So he was famous in the culture, but not famous commercially. And so when Lionsgate got to him, was like, all right, we'll do the movie. That's cool. We expect maybe a couple 100,000, like just to figure out to make even of the budget. And when it completely like crashed all their expectations, they were like, hold on, who is this Tyler person? Like, I didn't think it was like that. Where, of course, there was a lot of stereotypes of like Black people don't go to the movie theaters, pay for it, that whole nine. And he repeatedly, over and over again, like crushed the records from like, it was crazy, from the very time that he first dropped his movie to like 17 years later when it dropped on like Netflix, it still ended up being number one around the same month and day, right?
Wow.
So that part, just hearing that was really dope. Like just cater to the culture first, cater to your community first, and they are going to show out when you show up in different environments. So that was one lesson that I got out of it. Two, he totally coined this new business model in the game where it was like the 1090 model, where when it comes to shows to be syndicated, you needed 100 shows. And he knew that, right? To be syndicated, I need to have 100. So what he did was, yo, I'm a fund the first 10, right? In mind that the other networks are going to fund the 90, which will give him a total of 100 and be syndicated. So everything from actors to the production and everything, he like paid for it. And then people would come up to him like, yeah, let's shop for another 10. Let me get another 20. And he was like, nah. And then finally somebody picked it up. I think it was TBS. I could be wrong, but a network picked it up for the 90 and he completely crushed it. It was House of Pain. And granted, it's still going on today. He shows after shows after shows. TV was very important for him. And what happened was it allowed him to gain control, like gain ownership, because he funded majority of it to now he's able to call the shots the way that he wants to. So the fact that he created a whole new business model in the TV world was really dope. But then also I was, and I'll probably talk about this in like another episode, where I was reading this book and they were really going big on perception, right? And I have my ups and downs about that topic when it comes to branding. But it's crazy that though Tyler Perry was selling out shows, killing it in the box office when it comes to his movies, killing it with TV, it wasn't until he got the Tyler Perry Studios for people to be like, yo, who are you? Like, oh, you a big deal now. You absolutely are a big deal now. In the actual doc, they had what's the guy who did Star Wars? Lucas guy. What's his name?
Sounds about right. I don't know.
Okay, the Lucas guy. I was about to say the white Lucas guy. Golly, that's horrible of me. But you know who I'm talking about, people. So his wife was actually in the documentary, was like, look, my husband had to deal with a lot with building outside of the Hollywood network. So I already know what Tyler Perry was going through, and my husband was white. So
George Lucas.
Thank you. I was thinking of all these other names. George Lucas, right? So the fact that he had to buy something that was probably like over $1 billion, it was like an old army base, for people to really finally give him his props, gives him like his flowers, is crazy. But once again, it's like perception is everything, even though we may not like that. Perception's everything, but it's such a good documentary. Like I said, everything from his, and I'm not going to get into detail about his story, but everything from his story to the journey of how his plays started, why he started the plays, when he got into movies, when he got into TV. Now he has Tyler Perry, and how he was intentional with naming each of the soundstage. Like you got Oprah Winfrey, you got Halle Berry, you got all Denzel Washington, people who he's looked up to, who's been killing the game as well, Will Smith, and did it more for the culture because the culture was really who brought him up, was really the reason why he was successful. Now, a really relatable thing that he mentioned was the hate that he got, right? That people inside of the culture didn't really go for what he was doing. One of the ones that blew my mind was, and this is how like strong and a bigger person he is. He had a clip of Spike Lee, not necessarily praising him in the beginning for his imagery when it comes to the Black culture, but then years later has a soundstage named after him, and he's like praising Tyler Perry.
Interesting.
Now, yeah, right. And so, you know, people made fun of him because he dressed in drag. People were, of course, just saying bad things about what he has built. And the one thing that he said, like his mom, like instilled in him, was just understanding the purpose. Like, and it completely disregarded what other people were saying because you know who you're speaking to. And so the same people who were knocking him down was the same culture that was the reason why he was successful. So this is where you kind of have to drown out the naysayers and the haters because, well, we're selling out. So like, I hear you, but I don't. Like, this is working. So like, you can have your opinion. You may not understand me dressing as a female. You may not understand certain characters. You may not understand certain topics that we're talking about. And you may feel like we are downgrading the culture, but actually we're giving it more of a voice. Because where in other movies, such as like a Eddie Murphy and a Martin Lawrence that would do the same thing as putting a female costume, but it would be more of mockery and making fun of, let's say, the Black culture. He was more of bringing notice to some of the issues, bringing awareness to the struggles that maybe a Black family would give or females would get. Like, he would bring light to certain things instead of making fun of it. So it was about like 2 hours. I'm going to watch it again. Like I said, this is something that every entrepreneur, soon to be entrepreneur, creative person need to have, because not only from just his drive and his work ethic, but like getting the full picture of his empire is mind blowing. Mind blowing. So
Yeah.
I
gotta check it out. I gotta check it out. I saw it on the homepage as I was going through some things today. I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, you have to. Like, I'm gonna watch it again. Like, I'm excited about watching it again because it is, that I watched it last night. Like, started watching it last night, and I was just like, oh, I gotta do it over and over and over again, because he makes you feel like you ain't really doing anything. You really ain't invested as you say you are. You ain't really got the work ethic like you say you do. Like, he make you question a lot of stuff. And all I could do is like also commend him for his faith, because when I tell you, when you hear this story of him and his father, oh, it's heartbreaking.
Fire.
It's heartbreaking.
Really?
It's like, how do you continue? Do you have a therapist on site 24/7? Like, how are you running all of these different things with still those demons in the back? It's just, it's crazy. It's a really good documentary. I haven't been this excited for a documentary for a while that isn't clearly violence and shoot 'em up, bang, bang, like El Chapo and stuff. And Gotti.
Shoot 'em up, bang, bang.
But,
Yeah.
No, it's a really good one that I really suggest everybody should. And let us know when you watch it. Okay, let us know when you watch it. Not if you're going to watch it. Yeah, no, I'm going to. No, when you watch it, let us know, because I really want some of the lessons that you guys picked out of. That's just some of mine. There's so many more, and I'm going to watch it again to have even more. But yeah, that's just some of mine.